What's up, Taiwan? I'm Sally Jensen with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Intense fighting broke out at Taiwan's legislature on Friday. The scuffle has put a hold on a vote for bills looking to expand legislative oversight. Tiffany Wong reports.
Bolting for the exit, Democratic progressive lawmaker Guo Guowen snatches the documents needed to review 5 legislative reform bills from the hands of the 72-year-old secretary of the legislature. It's an attempt to stop an upcoming vote. Those bills were at the center of a day-long brawl in the legislature on Friday that left 6 lawmakers needing medical treatment.
当面跟陈委表示，如果刚刚的冲突碰撞了他，我很抱歉。那至于未来他的感受什么，我们尊重。
我们很遗憾的看到民进党的立委不只用流氓的行径来攻击国会的议场，对在野党的立委挥拳攻击。
The opposition Kuomintang and Taiwan People's Party are pushing the bills with proposals that would require the president to offer a yearly report to lawmakers and would make contempt of the legislature an offense. But the DPP says the laws have been brought for a vote without enough time for review. Neither the KMT nor DPP hold a majority in the new legislature, but the KMT has the most seats, and it sought support from the TPP to pass these reforms. Throughout the day, the KMT and TPP attempted to pass the bills through their second readings. The televised brawls, which are not uncommon in Taiwan's legislature, gained public attention. By nightfall, over 100 protesters had gathered outside the legislative building, many of them students and young people calling for reform.
国民党100年统治台湾的这个情况之下，那他们一步一步的在消灭台湾的价值跟意义，那变成说现在在我们这一辈年轻人需要站出来，为我们的国家去做抗争跟保护。
Several DPP lawmakers came out to greet the protesters. After midnight, KMT Legislative Speaker Han Kuo-yu called an end to the session. The bills will await further review on Tuesday, the day after DPP leader and President-elect Lai Ching-te takes office. The scuffle has provided a glimpse of the stark divide between lawmakers and the public, one Lai must somehow bridge over the next 4 years. Devin Tsai and Tiffany Wong for TaiwanPlus.
To learn more about the recent fights in the legislature, our reporter Tiffany Wong spoke with Brian Hugh from New Bloom magazine.
So what exactly is the controversy regarding the bills that the Kuomintang and Taiwan People's Party are trying to pass?
So the controversy occurred on a few different levels. First and foremost, I think part of the anger is because the KMT and TPP are seen as pushing through the bills in a matter that did not receive a great deal of public oversight. So it's criticized as a black box. In this sense, too, the contents of the bill are, there are a few different aspects of it. One is wanting the president to report to the legislature and having a Q&A session. And it's feared that this would be used by KMT legislators to try to push the president to something incriminating that might endanger perhaps cross-strait relations. But I think more importantly is the new powers then that this would allow legislators to call people up, whether part of government or a private individual, for questioning. And if you don't respond, then you can be held in contempt of the legislature. This is seen as very wide-ranging, very vague and undefined, and it can be used to target political groups or individuals that the KMT does not like. They're seeking to give prosecutorial powers to legislators, which they might weaponize against the other political camp.
Okay, could you tell us a little bit about these physical fights in the legislature? What do you make of this, and is this common in Taiwan?
It is quite common. That's one of the things that Taiwan is quite known for, in the fact that the DPP and the KMT will take to literally fisticuffs with each other in the legislature to try to prevent certain bills from passing, and that they will fight over the speaker's podium and etc. You have this culture, too, of waiting outside the legislature to try to secure the podium and ensure there cannot be disruptions. And it is true that sometimes there's a element of theatrics to this. When you do have legislators being sent to the hospital, this is playing up the injuries that they do receive, and in that way hoping to galvanize public anger. And so all those things came together that led to several hundred gathering outside of the legislature late at night, actually, quite quickly. And there has not been a mobilization like that in quite some time, particularly during the years of the Tsai administration.
The legislative session ended around midnight on Friday, and the legislative speaker, Han Kuo-yu, said that there will be another session on Tuesday. Now, do you expect these bills to pass, and do you predict that these kind of actions from either legislators or outside protesters will continue?
It's a good question because I think now the legislators themselves of either political camp will be aware that there is the potential for public pushback. And in the days up to Tuesday, then there is more time to organize and have a larger rally. And so Tuesday could be round two, it could have larger protests. But there's more discussion of the bill that will occur as a result. The other key point to note is that Tuesday is one day after Lai Ching-te's presidential inauguration on Monday. So there will be further politicization of the issue regarding what Lai says, whether he alludes to this or not. I think that it really does raise the stakes for the days around the presidential inauguration. The tension is because we are in a moment of transition. Under the Tsai administration, there were not a lot of protests because the DPP controlled the legislature and the presidency. This time around, it's not the case that the DPP will control both, only the presidency. And that is why the KMT is trying to increase legislative powers this time.
That was Tiffany Wong speaking with Brian Hugh from New Bloom magazine. A group of opposition lawmakers has set off to inspect Taiwan-governed Taipei Island in the South China Sea.
所以我们今天就代表大家去看一看我们的国境之南，然后也看一看我们中华民国的领土。我们也正式的希望向外界宣示我们捍卫主权的决心。
Taipei Island, also known as Ituaba, is the largest landmass in the hotly contested Spratly Islands, which are also claimed by China, Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, and the Philippines. It is one of two Taiwanese-governed islands in the South China Sea. Taiwan's government has warned lawmakers against visiting the island at this time, citing frequent clashes between the Philippines and China in recent months over claims in the region. No lawmakers from the ruling Democratic Progressive Party have joined the inspection. Many people in Taiwan and around the region have expressed concern as Japan releases treated nuclear wastewater into the ocean. Scientists in Taiwan are monitoring the waters around the country for any sign of dangerous radiation. Reporter Jeremy Olivier has the story.
Japan has just begun its latest round of wastewater discharge from the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant on the country's east coast. This time, around 7,800 tons of water will be released into the Pacific Ocean. Japan first began this process in August last year, prompting a backlash from neighboring countries, including Taiwan. A poll by the Taiwanese Public Opinion Foundation in September found that over 60% of people were concerned over the issue. Many are still worried that the wastewater has reached Taiwan. But new data collected by the country's National Atomic Research Institute tells a different story.
我们现在环境监测数据和以前并没有什么差异，所以我们看到从环境监测来看，应该是还没有明显的变化，看不出它到了还是没到。
In 2022, the Institute, looking to confirm whether waters around Taiwan have been affected by Japan's wastewater release, established the country's first tritium analysis laboratory. Tritium is a mildly radioactive form of hydrogen. Testing has shown very little of it in the water previously discharged by Japan. At the lab, researchers study samples of marine life from Taiwan's surrounding waters. They slice these into small pieces, place them in a container, then use a freeze dryer to extract high-purity tissue to test for tritium.
那我们就可以将这个冰呢夹出来，那就可以得到里面的那个组织自由水川。
The process for detecting tritium in fish is complex because it primarily exists in water. That means the animal's flesh is a key focus of testing. To date, the facility has inspected over 500 samples, including sari, tuna, marlin, and shark. All tests have shown no signs of contamination. The lab says it will continue testing for tritium around Taiwan and work to improve its detection capacity and analysis. Eason Chen, Sandy Chi, and Jeremy Olivier for TaiwanPlus.
Ukrainian experts are warning that Taiwan has not done enough to boost its civil defense in the face of rising threats from China. They say Taiwan should learn from Ukraine's experience in its war with Russia.
Because, first of all, society needs to understand that threat is real and it exists. And this is the first step toward to increasing of your security system.
Speaking at a civil defense forum in Taipei, the analyst said that even with 8 years of preparation, Ukraine has faced issues with morale among its citizens. They say the window of time is shorter for Taiwan. The experts are urging Taiwan's government to work more closely with civil defense groups to organize training and workshops. Some Taipei residents are taking up a hobby that brings a bit of nature back into the city: urban beekeeping. Reporter Risa has joined one riverside workshop to see what all the buzz is about.
Tucked away amid the urban sprawl, by the riverside in New Taipei, a deep buzzing fills the air as bee enthusiast Cai Mingxian holds a beekeeping workshop.
判断这个王台它是正常羽化的还是咬开的？你看它会从这个末端的地方咬出来。大家会有一些错误的概念，以为蜜蜂就应该活在乡村。没有，其实蜜蜂就跟蚂蚁啊、蝴蝶啊、蚊子啊这些一样，就生活在我们的周遭，跟我们共享这个自然资源。
Cai's students, many retirees looking for a new hobby, watch as he takes them through the complexities of hive care.
其实它不是我们想象中这么简单，它其实冬天它没有东西吃啊，我们要怎么样去照顾它？
养蜂的目的是可以友善环境，对环境是好的，所以我来学养蜂。
With dozens of workshops a year and around 30 students attending each session, there's strong interest in beekeeping. But only a handful of Cai's students actually end up raising their own colonies.
These workshops aren't necessarily about convincing people to raise their own bees. They're more about education and dispelling the stigma surrounding these important insects.
And promoting a stronger relationship between people and bees.
没有希望大家都喜欢蜜蜂，但至少看到它的时候，是用一个正确的方式对待它。只是因为高度都市化、水泥丛林，让这些原本可以生活在我们周遭的生物没有了栖息地。
Across the river in Taipei City, on the rooftop of the National Science Education Center, Cai and one of his pupils, Lin Shu-chen, care for even more urban colonies, using them as a teaching tool for curious visitors. Though Lin had a rocky start to her beekeeping experience.
所以它是在最躁动的时候。所以我一打开的时候，蜜蜂就开始追我，我就开始跑，哇，一直跑，一直跑，那个狼狈的样子哈，现在想起来觉得很好笑了哈。在这个过程当中啊，我们就透过老师的经验，然后呢就开始觉得蜜蜂真的很可爱。
A vital part of ecosystems and agriculture, bees do much more than produce honey.
它会去花朵上采集花蜜跟花粉，那这个行为会帮助植物授粉，那它也是其他掠食性动物的食物来源，所以它在生态系里面是一个支持生态里面很重要的一个角色。
Although beekeeping may not be for everybody, it's a hobby that requires time, space, and dedication. There are other, easier ways city dwellers can help support local insect populations.
Urban beekeeping is great, but if you don't want to manage the bees yourself, one thing you can do is build a pollinator garden. Plant flowers, ideally native to Taiwan, that don't need a lot of management to grow in the climate here, that have big, beautiful flowers for the bees that are already in Taipei to come to and feed from. You can also provide places for native bees to make their nest.
While raising urban hives may not be a comprehensive solution to struggling bee populations, the education and exposure it provides helps city folk form a deeper understanding and appreciation for the creatures we share this world with. Justin Wu, Devon Cai, and Reese for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's southeastern county of Taidong now has its first PET scanner for detecting cancer. Previously, patients had to travel to other counties to access the technology. But after a donation drive, Taidong's main cancer center managed to raise over $3 million to purchase its own machine. Doctors say it will allow for cancer to be detected much earlier than before. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. I'm Sally Jensen. Take care and see you next time.